What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what's really moving Lucid today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So at the time doing this video, Lucid is up 3.71%. So it is kind of piggybacking off of the broader market's positive momentum, and a lot of that is kind of stemming from today's retail sales. It came out better than anticipated, so came in at 0.1 versus the month over month was negative 0.2. So very good data that is also propelling this. So the fear and greed index to move to the greed category, so meaning people's appetite for risk is increasing, and all of that is on the eve, for the most part, before the very first rate cut in 2024. Bare minimum, most likely at least a 25 basis point cut. And I think the market has been recently pricing in a 50. So we'll just have to wait and see what does actually come. But today, rather low volume though. So 9 million shares being traded, 35.8 is the average. So even though looking at this, it does look fairly good, majority of the volume is truly linked to shorting as well as algorithmic trading. So algorithmic trading is kind of just piggybacking off of that positive broader momentum. And this is why I like to analyze what is happening behind the scenes, because algorithms, that it's kind of hollow, if that makes sense. And I brought this up time and time again, and this is a very apparent indication, all this barcoding right here, of algorithms. But as of right now though, no actual official news from Lucid itself. So last news came out on September the 10th. Aside from that, it's just rumors, things floating around on social media. So for instance, Lucid did post this. So it looks like over this last weekend, they did participate in a event at Seattle at the 𝗪𝗧𝗪𝗧𝗛𝗧 Expo. So pretty good stuff. Lucid's always been very good at their kind of pictures, marketing, and everything like that. So yeah, Lucid's definitely stepping up their presence overall. And speaking of presence, this is a very good video. So Saudi Bay did post this. So yeah, it looks like once again at the very beginning, you can kind of see three Lucid Airs kind of chauffeuring this huge ass airplane. So yeah, honestly, there's different ways to use Lucid vehicles. So I think this is a good thing. Is this a reason to buy Lucid? Same for this. Not really. It's more just kind of a good FYI stuff and whatever else. There was this. I actually haven't had a chance to listen to this podcast. So Peter did participate this. I think this came out yesterday under the Everything Electric show. So I'll kind of maybe do a summarization of this tomorrow. It is 43 minutes, and I'll put a link to this in the description below in case you guys haven't seen it. But 20,000 views. I'm pretty sure majority of you guys have kind of looked at it. But today is a very big day because once again, shorts are saying F you to Lucid. So welcome back to the 30s. That's not a good thing on a side note, but 30.03% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 269.31 million shares, and that equates to exactly $1 billion in short value. But shorts right now are increasing 3.91 million, and like I said, the volume is only 9 million, so they're making up for a good like 35 to 40% of the volume today. So not the best, but cost to borrow average is 8.24%. Moving over to options, let's go over some of that. So right now, again, the market's been open roughly 2 hours, 201,000 in calls, 59,000 in puts. So very little dollar value getting in through options right now. 56% of all the options being done is optimistic and bullish, but with shorts increasing that amount, it is fair to assume that pretty much all of those calls or the optimism is definitely linked to hedging. And looking at some of the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be kind of around that $4.50 to $5 range. So we'll wait and see what happens. But oddly, there was some $7 calls that was purchased for the September 27th expiry date. So next week. Why? I'm not sure. Maybe someone knows something, but I feel like if big money really did know something, they'd be buying a lot more than 695 options, call options. So again, something to kind of keep in mind. This is the puts that have been purchased. Not really much to kind of talk on. They're just anticipating for it to be sub 350. Like I said, big money is not really getting in. Only one transaction today. 477,000, and it was a sell. These are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool. So even this exchange over the last 2 days has been relatively quiet. So that is typically used and linked to shorting as well as algorithmic trading. But right now, shorts I think are just doubling down in anticipation of tomorrow only having a 25 basis point cut, because the market over the last several trading days, I feel like, has been pricing in a 50. So if a 25 basis point cut comes in, then you might see a little bit more of a broad market pullback. I think that's what a lot of analysts are starting to really say. But right now, with it at $3.92, it's kind of just stuck in limbo between these 2 points. So the pivot and the R1. So 375 will be the strong support. 437 will be that next strong resistance / target. So most likely it's just going to continue to trade within this range until either we get a 50 basis point cut where it'll touch this R1, or we get the 25 where it'll probably touch this pivot. If not, pull it a little bit lower than that. But that was a saving grace for yesterday. On a side note, on the actual chart itself, so it is right now transitioning into the higher percentile. So of course that's kind of good. Like I've been saying, you need 2 consecutive trading days to really signal a trend, and it's just flirting with this kind of pivot point right here. So we'll just wait and see. But regardless, it is above that 50-day moving average. So all in all, fairly good stuff. Stochastic, you see it at 54. No defined trend right now, so it's not really overbought nor oversold. And number of retail investors are maybe buying the dip. Last day before, of course, tomorrow. If you guys don't know options, highly suggest in researching them, because again, if you are going to play any kind of event such as earnings or even rate cuts, the very first rate cut, then yeah, definitely options might be the way to go. So kind of do your own due diligence, but this is a little bit more of a nice recovery for that. So all in all, Lucid is just stuck in limbo. Of course, algorithmic trading is really pushing it higher. So if tomorrow doesn't go according to plan, then yeah, you might see a pullback. So what's your thoughts overall? Did you guys listen to this podcast? And if so, what really stood out to you from this? Did Peter say anything good? I kind of scanned the comments slightly. Some people are saying that this was the most open and the best interview that Peter has done. So kind of curious on why exactly. What was said? But I guess all in all, when this came out, Lucid was selling off, so it couldn't have been any new catalyst enough to really prompt buying. So what's your thoughts? Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. Make sure you guys definitely take advantage of this promo as well. Link to this in the description below and also the comments. Simply sign up for a new account, throw $100 at it. They give you 5 free stocks. Each stock is valued up to $2,000. Link to this is in the description below and also the comments. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.